Hello! It's no secret that Pokemon prices have gotten insane, and a large group of people are treating this like investing in the stock market. I mean, look at those prices. My name is Aslan. I'm a third-year actuarial and financial mathematics student, and I'll be using advanced mathematics, machine learning, and techniques that quants on Wall Street use to predict Pokemon prices to help me get out my student debt. So what is the goal? The goal is to build a machine learning model to predict what the best performing cards will be in a week, in 1 month, and in 3 months. To make this easier to follow, we need to create a checklist of how to create this model. First, we need data, and lots of it. Data to a data scientist is like Coke to an investment banker. Second, we need to clean and organize the data. It's like the old saying goes, garbage in, garbage out. Basically, if the training data is nonsense, the predictions will be nonsense. Third, we need to build the model. This is where the magic happens. Building and testing the model is how we're going to predict the prices. And fourth, predict. Time to put my money where my mouth is and predict these prices. Okay, first off, we need data. But before we do that, what even is machine learning? It's basically just teaching a computer by giving it loads of examples. In this case, I'm giving it thousands of Pokemon card prices and other information about those cards, and its job is to figure out patterns that people probably wouldn't have noticed. Then once it's learned those patterns, we can ask it to predict prices it's never seen before. So what data do we need? We need pricing data, pull rates, and popularity rankings. First, pricing data. For every card, we need to get its daily market price. And for that, we need to do some web scraping. What is web scraping? Let's say there's a website called Prices R Us, and it has a graph like this for every Pokemon card. This is Magikarp's card, because it's the best Pokemon, obviously. That graph is the daily price for the past year for that card. Basically, I then build a little robot that goes onto pricesrus.com and asks for the daily pricing data for every card. But the website only gives me the pricing data for 100 cards because it doesn't like how quickly I'm able to ask for the data. So I send the same robot, but I just say it's from France and then Mexico and so on. Now the process will take long because of how many sets there are. So I only took the price data for every card in the following sets. Now we have our pricing data and it looks like this. We need to clean up the data and put it into a usable format, but that's step 2. So we'll come back to that after we collect the rest of the data. To get the pull rates for each set, I found this Reddit post with the website that this person made. So I was able to get all the info like this. And for the popularity rankings, I was also able to find a Reddit post where people surveyed thousands of people for their favorite Pokemon in 2025. That's step 1 complete. Let's scratch that off. Time for step 2, clean and organize the data. Except, I realized I had made a massive mistake. Somehow I had mixed together graded and ungraded card prices. That's obviously a disaster because a PSA 10 Umbreon is worth way more than a raw one, and the model would have no idea what's going on. So I had to go back, fix the scraping code, and scrape every single card again. 3 hours later, I was finally back where I started, then I could actually start cleaning the data. Now, I have a master sheet that looks like this. We can start building the model. Training a model to predict something is easy. It's only like 10 lines of codes. What's the hard part is figuring out which factors are statistically significant and which factors just add noise to the model. The definition of noise in statistics basically means random, meaningless variation in your data. The stuff that jumps around for no real reason and isn't actually telling you anything useful. We can also create features. Oh, what are features? Features are just the input clues you give a machine learning model to help it make predictions or decisions. The way we can create features is by manipulating the factors we currently have. For example, we have every day's price, so we can make a feature that gives us a 7-day rolling average over the last 7 days. Or for example, we have the price of every pack and we have the pull odds of every individual card. So we can create a cost to pull feature. So I ran an OLS significance test plus a baseline random forest
Boring!
to find out which factors are significant. Don't worry if you don't understand, the video isn't going to be too technical. So here were the most significant factors: price last, pool cost, and any rarity or variant. But how do we find out if the model is working and what features are important? By a thing called backtesting. Backtesting means checking how your model would have performed in the past, using data it didn't get to see ahead of time. So the data we have goes from the 17th of July 2025 to the 16th of July 2026. And to backtest it, I'm training it on the first 11 months of data and pretending like it's June 16, 2026. And I'm predicting what the prices would be a month later, which is July 16, 2026. I will also be backtesting it for the last week of July. And then I can compare my predictions to the actual prices. So we ran the model and got whatever is important and got our predictions. But how did we do? Well, for the first version, not the best. There are two ways that we are going to test the model's accuracy: mean absolute error, or MAE, and root mean square error, or RMSE. MAE basically means on average how wrong are we. So it basically treats a $50 miss and 10 $5 misses as the same. But RMSE wants to find out how wrong are we with an extra penalty for really bad misses. So the one $50 miss hurts the score a lot more than 5 $10 misses would. So now the models have been backtested for the final week, and as I said, the results are not good. The first model, we got an RMSE of 92.39 and an MAE of 5.51. After analyzing the data, I saw we were wildly off on some big ticket items, like the Umbreon VMAX alone missed by over $2.8 thousand. The Zekrom EX loss was off by $700, as well as the Mega Dragonite EX was off by over $700. I realized that I'm predicting chase cards and bulk cards on the same model, so I changed it up to have a two model systems where both were gradient boosted models for bulk cards and chase cards. After refining it a bunch, we went from a 45 USD RMSE down to a 28 USD RMSE, which is a massive improvement from the original 92. I worked on it a bunch. I wasn't able to drop my RMSE by that much. I then realized I needed to put the prices on a log scale. After doing that, we got these results. You can see that the chase RMSE has dropped to $25, which is a massive improvement, as well as here the top 15 most important features, or features that contribute the most to the model. Now I am happy with my model, and we can see the results of the backtest. Now, the premise is very simple. Pretend it's the 8th of July. Now we are asking the model to predict the top 10 cards with the highest return in the week. But we include one more restriction, that the cards have to be over 10 USD. And we are pretending like we are going to sell on the 17th of July. If you were to do that, you would have bought these cards. Here's the purchasing price on the 8th of July. Here are the predictions on the 17th of July. And here are the actual prices of what we sold the cards for on the 17th of July. If you do that, you would have spent $742 and sold everything for $807, which is $64 of profit, or an 8.6% return. And for 1 week, that's really good. Now, let's backtest for the month. Say it is the 17th of June, and the model has told you to buy these 10 cards. If you were to buy those 10 cards, you would have spent $713 and sold everything for $1,020, which is $306 worth of profit, or a 42% return, which is also fantastic. Now, does this mean my model is perfect? No. Since I've only backtested for 1 month and 1 week, I could have just gotten lucky. Now it's time for what we've all been waiting for. It's time to predict the prices for 1 week, 1 month, and 3 months. I'm probably going to release this video later this week. Now I will be uploading all my code and all my data to GitHub so that you can go and verify that I didn't look at extra prices after the 17th of July. I'm also going to be uploading my code for the people who are interested in this, because this video is not technical, and there are math nerds like me out there who are interested. And another thing, I am looking for a job in data science or an actuarial role. If you want to see my modeling skills, please do have a look at the GitHub repo, and if you like what you see, pop me an email. And now, without further ado, here are the top 10 predictions for 1 week, for 1 month, and for 3 months. This is not financial advice. I will put in the description the top 10 performing cards, as well as their set, their rarity, and the version that is. For example, the best performing card on the 90-day prediction is this Snorlax from Crown Zenith. It's the rare and it's the reverse holo foil version. If you like this video, please leave a like and a sub.